Piccadilly's secret waiting room? What's that all about? Well, good morning everyone and welcome back to Piccadilly. Now, when I say a secret waiting room, how can it be secret when billions of people have already been through the station? I mean, here on the model, if I take this lid off, you'll see there's an interior. So I'm going to take you now to the iPad to find out exactly how this was done. Welcome to the iPad. Now, before you see some images very kindly sent across by Andy Vincent, and he's given me very kind permission to use them, to show them to you. So what you see here is the area I'm going to model. So we've got some low-level seating here, which are like lean-to seats. Obviously, we've got a railing here. We've got a big waiting area there. And there's a coffee shop just around the corner, and this bit here are toilets. Just show you some of the other images. Obviously the travelator just there, and this is the railing I've just showed you. So you get a better idea of these lean-to type seats if you've not been there. But what I'm going to do now is show how I'm going to make some of these signs. Now, whilst I've done quite a few already, I do want to try and get them as authentic as I possibly can. Now, the sign I'm going to show you is this big one at the top here. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a screenshot. Okay, so that's automatically now gone into my photos. So I now use Affinity Designer, or Designer to actually arrange the photos, but to actually manipulate it, I'm going to use Photo. Come out of that. And I'm going to go into New Photo, which is Import from Photo, that one, and that's the picture I'm going to use. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is to crop that image. So I'm going to make it smaller, click on that, and now crop that image down to the size of the sign. Approximately there, and apply. Now you can see immediately that it's on the squiff. So I can't sensibly use it like that, because obviously if I did, it's going to end up having wonky sides. Now I'll be honest with you, in Engage you probably wouldn't notice it, but I would know it's not quite right. So what do we do? Now in Infinity Photo, you've got this filters section here. So if I scroll down, they're all in alphabetical order, as you can see. I'm looking for perspective, which is just there. That gives me a grid, which I can now work with. Now, by moving these handles, you can see what's happening there, can't you? So the idea is that you straighten it up. So I'm taking each part so it's level with the rectangle that's around it. And actually already it's not far off. So I'm just moving these particular parts until I get it pretty much right. Actually, I think it needs to come down a little bit, and then that one comes down a bit as well. But I'm just looking at to see if it's parallel, the same height there as in the same height there. And I think that's pretty much it, really, if I'm honest. So I'm going to apply. So yeah, looking at that, that's not far off at all. I'll make that a bit bigger now. Excuse my fingers. And now I'm going to crop that down. Well, you can see I'm not far off at all, really. To be honest, I think that's close enough. So I'm now going to apply that image again, make it smaller, go to export, which is just there, And down here, we've got this share icon, so that allows me to share that back to my photos. Now I'm going to put it into Designer. If I now go to Place Image, oops, no, not that one, Place Image, from Photos, and I want that one. And that allows me to put the image into, image into Designer, as you can see. And you can see I've got some others in there as well. But I'm just going to go back to the photo because I want to get an idea of roughly how big that is. Now, do understand that this is built by a kind of guesswork, because I can't ask anybody to go with a tape measure and measure any of these signs, and I certainly wouldn't be allowed to go and measure them myself, even if I went up there today, which I'm not going to do. But so I'm guessing. Now, if a person was to stand here, I'm thinking that's probably 5 times the width of a person. So I would imagine that 5 people could stand side by side, and that would come out about right. So I'm guessing a person is around about 3 to 4 mil wide. So I'd say 5 people, say 3 mil. I think 15 mil wide for that would be absolutely adequate. So I'm going to go back into Designer and go now into this section here, which now tells me how wide it is. So if I tap that, I can then go 15, okay. And that's given me the size of that particular sign. All right. Now, if you notice, I've duplicated all of these. And the reason for that is because when I make a sign, if I was to muck it up, drop it in the glue, accidentally screw it up, or not cut it correctly, or something goes wrong, I've got loads of others to help me out as well. I don't have to then print another sheet purely for one little icon or for one little sign and then throw the rest away. Waste of ink, waste of paper, etc, etc, etc. So I'm going to duplicate that many times. Now I've got this icon, which is a magnet on, which then helps me to get them level. So I can now duplicate, oops, if I didn't get it to duplicate, there we go, as many as I want, just like that. And then I'm going to take a load of those and duplicate them that way. Right, welcome back. Now the next bit I'm going to do is to start making this building or structure. So if this is the same view, the building will go just in there. All right, so that's the same as that. So I'm not going to show how I go about doing that, to be honest with you, because as I said a couple of weeks ago, it's a very bespoke structure. I am going to make it from card, which is just this 300 gram card. If you excuse me, I'll just bring that into shot, 300 grams. So I'm going to make a big curve, make the top plan, if you like, so I know what the shape of it's going to be, the actual outline, make a couple of those, and then form the card around that, and then start cutting each individual bits that goes in. As you can see, it goes into the toilet area, and we've got this recess here, and there is a few doorways and things like that to put in as well. So I will get all that sorted, and I'll come back to you once I've done each of the buildings. Right, welcome back. It's taken quite a while to do this, but I'll take you around now. All the different building or sections are in. Obviously there's just a lamp above, this isn't on the layout as such. So that's the waiting room you just see in front of you. That's the toilets. And you've got Costa over there. I've kept Costa very, very simple. It's literally just a piece of two pieces of folded card. And that thing there is the till. They've made a bit of a mess on the floor, so somebody's obviously got to go and tidy all that up. But now the only thing I need to do now is to put the benches in here. Oh, I haven't showed you the railing I put in. Bear with me. just there, and I made that out of a piece of solder. So a piece of solder to make the outside loop, which is literally, excuse my finger, is literally that, the overall outline C, and then there's a V-shape piece in the middle. Actually, if I can give you a look up inside, hopefully. Now, I have put one of the signs on. If you just bear with me, I'll just put the lid on. So you can see one of the signs up there. Now, it is going to be very tricky to populate it inside. I'll take that. Right, here we are. These are the seats in the actual station. So you can see we've got those, which I am going to use. These, I'm just going to turn the light on. Those. Now you might think, hang on a minute, that's got a back to it. Well, I'm going to experiment by cutting off the back legs and sort of leaning it forward. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, I haven't lost anything. So we'll just wait and see. Now, the other one, these ones here, I'll just turn this light off again. That's better. I've got some more garden bench type ones. And again, I'm just going to cut the back off and use them as they are. So I'll probably paint the legs silver and then just leave the wooden bit as a brown shape, and we'll see how that goes. Now, I think I will need to stick these in with super glue, and maybe even have to stick a person to each one, and just to give it some balance. I don't know at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see. But it is, whichever way we do it, is going to be quite a feat. As you can see, they're almost half the height of the person. So they've got to be around about the 7mm height. They are slightly taller than these ones, because obviously you lean against that, whereas actually you bend your legs to sit on that one. So it's a slightly different arrangement. These ones are clearly a lot taller. But anyway, let's give it a go, and I'll come back to you soon. So there it is. So you can see I've put in lots of the different sorts of seating now. So like I said, these seats here and those ones, actually, all I did was just cut the backs off, and I cut one of the legs off. So these have all got 2 legs. There's 3 on each row, so there's 9 there. And then just mount them so a little bit more vertically, so that the seat is actually not as horizontal as it would be. These ones over here, this is thanks to my Secret Santa person who kindly bought those. And this is the view as if you're coming out from the footbridge, or coming back from platform 13, 14, if you like, and you're coming into the waiting area. Yeah, so you can see straight ahead of you is the toilet. There's the coffee shop to the left, and the silent waiting area is to the right. I'll show you another view, and then we'll call it a day. But you can see we've got some seats just there and there. Obviously, this is the waiting room, which I've just showed you, so I'll take you back round and show you that, like I showed you before. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll try and give you some interior shots here, actually, as best I can on the model. It started flickering, forgive me. Come around the other side. It is very difficult to film this, as you can appreciate this. Around the back, all the different angles. Okay, bringing you back out now to the regular view. Now, it's half term for me this coming week, so, and I've also been on YouTube 1 whole year. Yes, I know it hardly seems possible, but I'm going to do a commemorative video probably midweek now to celebrate that, and I will show again the very first video that I ever put out, which actually isn't on YouTube anymore, because I did sort of remove a few earlier in the year. But so it'll give a nice chance to see that again and compare to what it's like now. and I'll do a very brief layout tour as well on that video for the benefit of all the new subscribers, which I think has probably been at least another, well, getting on towards 800 of you. So massive thank you to every single one of you for either staying with me or for joining me. So I really appreciate that. Anyway, that's enough for this video, and I'll see you in that one. So take care of yourself. Have a good week. Bye-bye now. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do like, subscribe and share, not forgetting to click on that little bell to get regular notifications of any videos I upload. Some other videos are appearing on the screen right now which also might take your interest. Thanks once again, and bye for now.